Hello, good morning. Today is Sunday, the 25th of August. It's a beautiful sunny day, and this is On a Map regular updates. My name is Dane, and today I'm going to give you a quick update on some of the things I talked about 2 days ago on Friday, the progress that was made towards those things, and then I want to tell you about something exciting that's new that I've been working on. All right, so on Friday, I gave an update of 5 things that I will be working on. And the first 2 I have done so far. So that was the add layer pop-up. I've redesigned it to match the design, or rebuilt it to match the design. So it's got the beautiful little cards, and you can select which one you want, which plugin you want to select, and then click the next button. So it's more visually useful and easier to use. Secondly, the layer contents pop-up. I also improved the design from previously a sort of accordion design that was quite difficult to use. Now it has a nice tabbed layout. And I also, for the first task, which was the add plugin pop-up, I realized I needed to see the images that the On a Map had in its database. So I realized also that I didn't have an administrative page or administrative table to show me all of the images in the database in Supabase. So I first did that. I made a beautiful administrative page. It's not really a table so much as a grid of all of the pictures that are in the database and a bit of information about each one. So that was another useful thing. Now, the next thing that I did was not something I mentioned on Friday, which I started to work on, which is that I found a really cool data source called Global Forest Map. I think it's called Global Forest Map, something like that. And it has some amazing data about deforestation and afforestation and just the forest cover across the world. So I created a very basic plugin, and I fetched some data, and so now you can add a very simple layer. I can't remember which one it has. I think it might be the deforestation data source. But the point is, it was a very quick setup of that plugin. And it's really what I would call a proof of concept plugin. It does show you something, you can use it, but it's not very functional because it doesn't have any settings. You can't change the color and select which data source you want. So it's just a proof of concept plugin that provides a data layer, like onto the map, and it shows that I can connect to that data source, and On a Map works with it, but it just doesn't have any much features. And it was quite quick to create that. So I think what is a logical next step is to do that for a lot of other data sources. So I have in my notes tool, which I'm using Workflowy to take loads of notes about On a Map. I've got a lot of data sources and organizations that do mapping of various kinds that I've made notes of across the various industries, from weather to climate to crime to poverty and all kinds of things. So now I think the next step should be to create a plugin for each data source, for each organization that we're going to connect to, in a very simple way, the simplest possible way. Fetch some data, be able to show it, and then stop right there and say, okay, that's a proof of concept of that plugin working, and then move on to the next one. So I can rapidly build up a lot of different plugins that On a Map can work with. And then based on which ones there's the most demand for, I can work on those ones to take them from the basic level, which is proof of concept, through the different stages of completion. So that would be, it would be like development first. Development means you're working on something. To proof of concept, which means you can see it, you can use it, but it's not very helpful yet. To alpha, which is alpha means like internal testing. That means that the team who's building it is testing it. To beta, which means that it's public testing, which means that you could use it. It means that it's in a good state to be tested by the public. The next step would be released candidate, which means that it's kind of ready to go. It's kind of complete. It's basically, we think it's complete, but we haven't released it yet. So release candidate is the next step after beta, and it's the last step before production. Production means that it's done, it's been tested well, it's been tested internally, it's been tested by the community, and it is stable and it's working well. That's production. So taking each plugin through that process will be very valuable, but I think it makes sense right now to make a lot of plugins at the very basic level, proof of concept, so that we know what On a Map can potentially do, and then everyone can discuss and provide their feedback of what they would most like us to work on, or me to work on, to make fully usable in a sort of beta stage or release candidate or production. All right, so that's the update for today. I hope you're looking forward to these things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.